The Reach. The hills are verdant and full of life. Juniper trees flourish and litter the earth with colourful leaves and berries, and the rushing waters of the Calf River carve their way through the peaks. It is quite a beautiful hold if you happen to be walking in the right spot, but much like all of Skyrim, things can go from picturesque to a bloody mess in an instant. A general rule when venturing the Reachlands of Skyrim, High Rock and Hammerfell is to steer clear of redoubts, with ramshackle huts and ersatz structures, and even some caves and ruins. For in these places it is likely that the Forsworn have taken up residence. These witchmen of High Rock claim dominion over the land, but their claim ends at their bold words, as the Jarls and Kings of the Reach pay no attention to the barbarians. Either way, if you stumble into one of their homes, you'll face an onslaught of men and women dressed like savages. They wield spiked and barbed weapons of bone and teeth, and they spend their time worshipping Hagravens and residing among them. When we, the heroic Dragonborn, stumble across a lair known as Blindcliff Cave, everything seems normal, at least normal by Forsworn standards. Bones are scattered around the cave mouth, and a ram's head is impaled upon a spike, typical pagan decorations. But if we venture deeper into this cave, we'll discover that something has gone awry for the Forsworn and their Hagraven matriarchs. What's up guys, it's Drew here and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. In this video we're going to tell you the full story of one of the most surprising, albeit brief, quests in the land of Skyrim, and it all starts here at this regular looking cave. So let's go inside. Once in the cave, the flow of the Calf River is muffled by the walls surrounding us on all sides. Ahead, lanterns dangle from the rocky heights, and beneath them a savage Forsworn draws her weapon. Foolish girl, she's going to tackle the Dragonborn single-handedly. Beyond her, the narrowing passageway opens up into a gigantic cavern. In here, the structures are in ruin, even by Reachman standards. It appears that a tower once stood tall here, but now it is desecrated and broken, likely destroyed by the centuries. We'll need to navigate past more Forsworn, ascending the ramps and staircases into the fallen tower. The interior of the tower makes for a memorable enemy encounter. The structure is on its side, and we fight Forsworn standing on what used to be walls. Above us, the rest of the tower seems to be standing the way gravity intended, with the stairs leading us upwards rather than sideways. And from here we can access Blindcliff Towers, breathing in the open air once more. Now we must traverse the two vertical towers, fighting Forsworn on the narrow bridge conjoining the two. A fall to the rocks below would certainly put an end to anyone without sure footing. And then we can get into Blindcliff Bastion, where things get really interesting. Immediately we can hear a raspy voice, surely not coming from any human or even barbarian mouth. And when we open the door we see something incredibly unexpected, a Hagraven locked up in a cage. Seeing a Hagraven in a Forsworn lair isn't surprising by any means. In Forsworn culture, Hagravens are revered. That may seem weird considering these foul things are literally a cross between an avian nightmare and a wrinkly wart-ridden witch. But yes, the Hagravens are the focal point of a sacred Forsworn ritual, the creation of Briar Hearts. In this ritual, the natural beating heart of the Forsworn leader is removed, and a Briar Heart, which is a flower found in the Reach, is stitched shoddily in its place. This ritual seems to have been an essential part of Forsworn culture ever since the legendary Reachman named Red Eagle. He was approached by a Hagraven who offered him power in exchange for his humanity. After the operation, he became a spirit of vengeance, pitiless and remorseless. That ritual is very similar to how Hagravens came to be. It is believed that they were once human witches who gave up their humanity for enhanced magical powers, and an unwavering hatred for natural life. Many Spriggans and goats have lost their lives at the hands of these hags. But anyway, with that information in mind, we can conclude that it is incredibly odd to see a Hagraven imprisoned within a Forsworn hideout. The savages adore Hagravens, so why is she locked up? Upon further investigation, she will actually speak to us in a tone of voice that can inspire many men to reconsider their sexuality.
Petra, evil Petra put me here, stole my tower, hid her, chew her bones. Let me out, kind meat.
How endearing. She's referring to us as meat. Seems trustworthy, but why would we release her?
Because you are such a nice Breton, yes.
She's obviously not familiar with this whole human interaction thing. We're not even a Breton.
Oh, yes. You all look the same.
So what do we get from freeing her?
You have a pretty staff. Help me find Petra. Wring her neck, pluck her eyes. Take my prize staff. I just want my tower back.
Alright, fair play. She knows the way to a Dragonborn's heart. Loot. Plenty of loot we will likely never use before dropping off a tower when we're over-encumbered. So it seems as though Melka has had a falling out with one of her sisters, Petra, but I can assure this is not the kind of catfight we want to witness. In this particular fight, we'll have to pray to the divines that no clothing gets torn off. So let's follow her through the tower. It turns out that, while we could get the information from her and kill Petra ourselves, it is much more beneficial to befriend the Hagraven. She will lead the way, and she'll take care of pretty much all of the fighting. Hagravens may not be pretty, but they are effective killers. She'll take us to a room with a closed gate and 3 possible switches. Activating the wrong one will send darts firing across the room, and knowing the Forsworn, there could be any manner of disease on the end of those things. So make sure you pay attention to her and pull the middle handle. She'll then show us another hidden lever to deactivate the swinging axes, and then we can proceed further through the bastion. And the best thing about our Hagraven escort, beyond the protection and the thrilling company, is the fact that she will even give us a little tour of the place. As we enter the next room, she'll say,
My parlour. No finer place to boil eyes, no.
And with that we get a little insight into the simple life of a precious old hag. This quest may not rival the Forsworn conspiracy for the most high-octane, suspenseful, action-packed side story in the Reach, but there's some real charm to it that I love. It's really surreal being allied with Melka, and it almost makes you wish there was a Hagraven companion somewhere in the game. Then again, I forgot to mention one key snippet of information earlier when I told you about Hagravens. Having your flesh pierced by a Hagraven has a very high chance of causing brain rot. This delightful sounding disease drains your magicka, but in terms of in-game lore, we can assume that there are some more drastic side effects. So while we may make the most of befriending this scorned bird witch, let's politely decline if she offers a back scratch or asks for a high five. One more Forsworn occupied corridor stands between us and the final conflict. Beyond an iron door, a large room in ruins is occupied by a Forsworn archer, a warrior, and most importantly Petra. And she's almost as beautiful as Melka. Melka will say,
Petra, you traitorous crows, die!
And then the battle will start. Now we can help or we can watch. Either way, I'm sure we can get our hands on Melka's staff. But after so much bonding time, it seems wrong not to give her a helping hand. The 2 Hagravens will engage in a bitter conflict of fire, ice, and claws. And when it's all over, Melka will say,
I spit on you, dead sister. Petra, curse her eyes.
What will you do now?
Live in my tower, roost in my home, mix pretty poisons and collect shiny eyeballs, yes.
Delightful. And our reward?
Yes, my staff, take it, kill something pretty with it.
And with that, we can thank the charming Hagraven for her hospitality. While her evening plans of brewing poison and ogling over fresh eyeballs sounds like an absolute banger, I'd say it's time to get moving. Through a barred wooden door we can emerge in the fresh valley air, high up on the blind cliff towers. And while we're here, let's take a look at that Eye of Melka, our keepsake from that memorable encounter. This staff fits perfectly with the savage aesthetic of the Forsworn, fashioned from bone and teeth and feathers. It is a unique variant of the Forsworn staff, but rather than shooting flames for 8 damage per second, it functions more like the powerful Fireball spell, emitting a fiery explosion for 40 points of damage in a 15-foot radius. Plus, targets on fire will take extra damage. If you aren't playing a mage or need your magicka reserves for less expensive spells, this staff is a great addition to any arsenal. The Fireball spell is one of the most reliable and powerful destruction spells, and we can use it to make Melka proud, killing plenty of pretty things, and maybe even harvesting their eyeballs should we ever need a gift for a second date with the magical Melka. And there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed our journey through one of my personal favourite quests in Skyrim. It may not be the most exciting or the most challenging, but it's a lot of fun mowing down barbarians with your very own cackling companion. If you enjoyed the video, show us your support with a like, it means a lot to us. And if you want to see more videos just like this, consider subscribing. Don't forget that our social media links can be found in the description just below if you want to keep up with us outside of YouTube. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. My name is Drew, and I will see you in the next one.